What's up, fellow RC nerds? Most of you know me for my smooth brain drone content, but flying in the winter really sucks, so I picked up RC crawling as a winter hobby. They're not fast or agile like a drone, but that didn't stop me from spending way too much money on one. Nope, two of them. So this video is going to be a little bit different as I take you through my first all-day crawling trip. Using my undeniable charm and a little help from my friends, Snacks and Booze, I lured my wife to a local waterfall, about a mile into a lush rainforest. Once we arrived, we had to descend about 30 feet in elevation across a very steep grade to get down into the falls. Now, when I say steep grade, this 30 feet in elevation was only over maybe 50 feet horizontally. It was extremely steep. It was also very tight quarters and very technical, and it was giving me some trouble in my boat of a crawler.
How are we gonna attack this descent, Julia?
I think go on the left-hand side.
Right here?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll try it out.
If we can.
And that crawler of choice for me, which just so happens to be my only crawler, is a Traxxas TRX-6, which is excellent for steep climbs and descents, which this is, but not so much for tight quarters maneuvering, which this also is.
Ah, no! We're good, we got it. Now we're home free.
Now, Julia, on the other hand, was driving a TRX-4, which is essentially the same thing as the TRX-6, pretty much identical drivetrain, suspension, steering, pretty much everything else, just two less wheels. And you could definitely tell her descent was smoother. She was able to fit into a lot tighter spaces than I was. This whole descent line was some of the most fun crawling I've done yet. We will definitely be coming back here again. After a couple minutes of brute forcing our way down the steep grade with surprisingly no rollovers or resets, we got down into the falls area. Now, I've only been crawling for a few months, but this spot was the best I had been to yet. It had large, moss-covered boulders, tons of technical features, and the pools of water truly made this spot epic. And not to mention, it was by the water, there's a waterfall. What more can you ask for? A big part of the fun for rock crawling, at least for me, is trying to get across the gnarliest terrain and recover from bad situations, which Julia quickly found herself in with these rocks.
Aww, gonna roll it. Oh no. If you can like get over there now.
So then I drove over to try and help out, and I found her now rolled over between those same rocks.
What happened?
Oh, fell over.
It's totaled.
Not totaled. Good as new.
See, her TRX-4 has a very high CG, and it's also very light, making rollovers a constant struggle. Then we did some follow the leader, as I led us around a large puddle surrounded by rocks, trying to make it back to where we started. But it wasn't long until I got myself hooked in the branches and got turned around. I'm gonna blame it on the GoPro mounted to my crawler. But at that point, Julia was able to pass right by. She was then able to complete the circuit with a nice finish through some water features and mud.
Oh. You got it. Maybe. Nice.
Now at this point, we had been crawling for about an hour, so we decided to head back towards the climb out. After yet another rollover, we started our ascent. It was very muddy, which made the steep incline a bit of a challenge, but this is where my 6 wheels really came in handy.
There we go. I think I got it. Yes. I'll try to get you. That was gnarly.
Julia's shorter wheelbase coupled with 2 less wheels made for a bit sketchy of a time, but she still had a nice recovery over this route in the steepest part of the climb.
I'll try and get all tires on this side
Yeah.
of the line.
Oh, I am well aware.
Oh shit.
Am I missing one tire?
I think you fucked it. Oh no.
Oh, I did it just right.
Come on. You got it. Yes.
Climbing this incline was a good mix of challenging terrain, but also doable. You never felt like you couldn't do it. It was a blast, and we'll definitely be coming back to this spot again.
Yeah, that was super gnarly. That's like a good 30 feet.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow. Good job, boys.
We then set out for the parking lot and drove for about 15 minutes through mostly flat trail to get up to the ridge line we drove in on. On the way in, we drove mostly right through this area to make sure we had enough battery for the falls area. But now it was time to check this out. We were immediately rewarded with excellent crawling areas all along the ridgeline, all the way back to the parking lot. And that's when disaster almost struck.
Oh, athlete.
Okay.
Yeah, just angry.
During a steep, pretty gnarly descent, my crawler flipped over lengthwise and started tumbling down the hill. Now, I was able to catch it before it flew off the edge of the trail, but not before I ate shit and skinned my knee up. But it's also a good thing I caught it, because if I didn't, I'd have to descend about 100 feet down some really, really sketchy terrain. It may have been unrecoverable.
Ooh, this is rollover territory right here.
I know.
This is sketchy. Uh-oh.
I wanted to get
You got-
close enough over here for me to grab it at least.
You got saved by the stump. Oh, you got it.
A big thing I had underneath me.
What the hell is that?
Fucking rat king, I don't know.
Rat King.
A few minutes later, Julia also had a brush with crawler terror as she rolled over while traversing a pretty similar steep line.
At
Uh-oh.
rolling and catching.
That was a close call. You need to learn to be more dramatic, kid. Ooh, boy.
Luckily for her, she did not eat shit or skin her knee, and we were able to make it back for lunch and to recharge the batteries for round 2.
Got just a beautiful lunch spot here, right by the creek. Sun's starting to poke through. What a beautiful day. Even the wife is having fun today. Jam me up, Daddy.
You just got jammed.
Round 2.
Our next spot was much more out in the open, which, when combined with the sun, made our skin essentially a mirror. Let's just say it's a good thing no planes were overhead for this part. This area we went through was open to mountain bikes, so it was filled with large stumps, large rocks, and it made for some really fun crawling opportunities. And even though this was in the same exact forest, just a little bit higher up, the scenery and foliage was completely different than the last spot. It's one of the things I love most about the Pacific Northwest. You can just have completely different weather, completely different foliage than just a few miles down the road. And barring a few scattered puddles, this area was also much drier than the last, and we were having a bit more trouble getting grip. I've noticed it seems the best grip actually comes when there's a slight amount of moisture in the dirt. If it's just bone dry, the tires just can't grip as well. It's almost like it's dusty. But still, it's really impressive how large of an object these crawlers can actually climb.
Rethink that one,
Not
kid.
sure what I'm driving straight up.
Ooh, there you go. Very nice. You didn't even roll it.
Once we reached the bottom of that trail, we headed back up in a different area. And at the top of that climb, there was a really nice view tucked away in a little forested area, which our skin thanked us for, but big sunscreen, they had a problem with it. We then continued a few more minutes along the trail and found some really cool features, like a bowl filled with large rocks, little gravelly rocks, some weeds, some roots, and some more large rocks. After some rear and front chase cam footage of Julia driving around in her little Bronco, it was getting a little bit late and we decided to turn around. And after a short drive back through the forested area, we had the last rollover of the day, as Julia tried to use my crawler as a bridge and paid the price for it.
Got it. Oh no.
Now between this spot and the last, we drove about 3 miles in real people distance, which is about 30 scale miles for the crawlers. That's a pretty long distance. That's definitely the longest I've crawled in a day. But this all-day crawling trip was awesome, and I'd definitely like to do something like this again. But what do you guys think? Drop a like and comment down below if you'd like to see more crawling content, and don't forget to hit subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.